Don't even start with me.
Der.
Trois.
Quatre.
I sound good.
Cinq. Six. Why do you know how to count in French?
I'm fluent in French. I can't
In
even...
French.
I am fluent in French.
In French, I when I start speaking French, I get French and Spanish confused. So because they're very similar languages, and my vocabulary is about this big.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I can say "passez la beurre, s'il vous plaît," which means pass the butter, please.
Omelette du fromage.
Oh, something about cheese.
Cheese omelet.
Yes.
Speaking of language, before we get started, I want you guys to teach me some hip phrases. What am I missing out on?
Oh, I'm a high school jazz musician planning on going for music ed. I don't know anything hip.
He's not hip.
But you don't say like, oh, that beat 8 or anything like that.
There's only beat 8 if you have 8 beats in a measure, which isn't common.
Give me some jazz slang.
Slang.
Okay, the head of the tune. So it's like the main melody. I got a jazz quartet that plays, and last night we were going around soloing. We decided we were done soloing, so I turned around to the band and I started tapping my head to let them know we're just going to play the melody again and be done. Because they played the Golden Apple Awards last night.
Oh, that's where head comes from.
But do you still call people like cool cat? Like, way to lay that slick bass line, cool cat.
There's actually, it's funny you say that. There's a college of music out in Boston. They're just a music college, and their mascot is the Jazz Cats.
Jazz Cats. Smart. Ari, do you have any fun slang, that cool, young, hip words that I can use? Like, I know like cap and no cap. Am I saying that right?
Yeah. Do you know how to use them in the right context?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I was just curious.
I mean, huzz.
What?
See?
Huzz?
What does
Huzz.
that mean?
It's like girl.
What?
Huzz. Like,
Yeah.
can you use it in a sentence?
Like,
I'm too old for this.
this is my huzz.
Oh, this is my girl.
Yeah.
This is my huzz.
Mhm.
Why?
I'm gonna say that
Why
to
are
my
you
wife.
laughing?
I'm going to say that to my wife tonight.
Because I've heard it in much different contexts.
Well,
and so
there's
it's
there's
really
a lot of
funny.
variations. Like gruz is like grandma.
How do you say husband? Because huzz would.
Huzz. Yeah.
No, I thought that
that's
was
girl.
Well, that's
Girl.
girl. Yeah.
Hubs?
That's a good question.
I've always just heard huzz as like a general, like, this is a person that I find attractive or like something along those lines. And then you just change the first letter to the specific scenario. So like buzz, band huzz, that kind of thing. Like it's just a specific scenario that you change the first letter.
That's like speaking in code.
It's really entertaining to try and decode what other people are
Oh
saying.
my
It's-
gosh. I couldn't keep up.
I don't know what's happening.
Oh, one trending is chicken jockey.
What? Why?
It's a reference to the Minecraft movie.
Oh, can you use that in a sentence so I can use it
Yeah,
properly?
like-
Well, you kind of just yell it at random times, I guess.
Oh, so there's no context behind it. It's
No.
just like
It's an outburst.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna-
It's a, what do you call that? A guffaw? No, that's a laugh, a loud laugh. The way you say grapefruit in French is pamplemousse. That's
It's a
always been my favorite.
Great topic change.
Way to kill the moon, Cooper. I'm going to go see Minecraft tomorrow.
Oh, do you play that game?
No spoilers. No, I don't.
Well, now you're going to understand that phrase. And so you can be really cool. And
I already
at
forgot.
the end,
What is it? It's chicken
Chicken jockey.
jockey.
So at
Chicken
the end,
jockey.
yeah, at the end you can just yell it and be
Yes.
like so cool. It'll be fun.
I feel like we're already trending. This is great. Do you guys want to
Are you
introduce?
just going to hashtag all the words that they shared with us and just hope for the best on Twitter?
That's
Or not Twitter. What's that? What's the one? The
X?
TikTok. No, TikTok. That's what I meant.
put it on my
you should've-
Discord channel.
You should. I don't understand what that is. I know what Substack is. When people say Discord, I get confused. We should have had them do like a TikTok trend because they're trendy.
All right, we have 2 special guests today.
It's
Cooper.
me.
Yeah, it's
I'm the
Cooper.
special guest.
No, do you guys want to introduce who you are and what you do for Royal Credit Union?
I'm Ari Cardona Ferrer, and I am a high school teller at the Eau Claire West branch.
I'm Max Westham. I'm a high school teller at the Eau Claire Downtown branch, and then the in-school branch that we have at North High School.
Do you guys want to tell me what you guys do as high school tellers? Like get into all the different things that you do.
Well, my part is a little different because Regis doesn't have an in-school branch, so I focus on monthly promotions, getting the kids interacting with finances. For example, I've done PowerPoints or fun games during lunchtime.
Oh, so you do like a lot of marketing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have fun with that?
Yeah, I
That's
do.
awesome.
My job's similar, except we do have an in-school branch. The big thing that North we're trying to work with is with the recent referendum and remodeling, the Royal branch in the school has gotten much bigger, much more accessible to students, and so we're working with a lot more students now, and just kind of working with that and getting those students, finding ways to teach them about finances. And now that we're connected to a classroom, we're starting to do lunch and learn. So during lunch periods, we're doing classes.
Got some newfound fame over there.
Not only are you guys working in your schools, but you're also working in the actual offices there. Are you just doing tellering, or tell me some of the stuff that you guys do in the office?
So it's mostly tellering. There's a few things, that we avoid doing, even MAR 1s, intro level of member account representatives, we'll do like IRA deposits, HSA deposits. We generally avoid doing that because there's tax stuff related, so we just step away from that. But overall, it's teller stuff. We try and sit in appointments to get familiar with what that looks like, but very rarely do we help execute that.
At my branch, they've let me sit in during like new appointments or opening a CD just so I know kind of what it looks like or what it feels like. And I've kind of gotten like the step-by-step on it.
What drove you to apply for these positions?
My school counselor at the time was promoting it, and I just kind of got interested.
I had a few friends that did the job, and they were like, well, you're a nerd, so you should try it out. And then I heard that you also got credit if you did the job because we take time out of our lunch shift. And I was like, well, we could use extra credits toward graduation. So I just kind of took advantage of it, and I like the idea of having a steady paycheck.
Have you guys built resumes yet?
Well, they needed one to apply.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious to learn what each of you would say are like the top 3 skills that this high school teller internship has given you.
Probably patience.
That's a good one.
Good communication as well, because sometimes the members come in and they don't know the exact terminology of banking, so you kind of have to work around and see what they're trying to tell you. Another one is stay social, really help out, because a lot of the members I see at my branch are regulars and they really enjoy talking to us.
I also see quite a big variety of people in our branch. So one thing is really, I've gotten a lot better at adjusting to situations. Like it's a big difference working with a local business than working with an elderly member that may be living in an apartment, living off Social Security. And that's that big shift that you have to make within less than 5 minutes. Not something I could have done before. Patience, especially with like the aforementioned elderly members. I mean, I worked with one member for about an hour the other day just because he was having trouble with Social Security and figuring out why I wasn't showing up on his statement properly. And then just general social awareness, looking around what needs to be done in the lulls. What can we do to make sure that everything's running smoothly in the small moments?
Yeah, that's awesome. And all those things that you both mentioned are skills that you can carry with you no matter where you go after high school.
Yeah, those are really good skills.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely will look excellent on your resume.
You should work on your patience.
I am extremely patient with you, Steve.
What has been the most fun part about the job so far?
I would say my coworkers. I've made a lot of friendships, and I didn't really expect that because with some of my coworkers, there's an age gap, but I feel like it's kind of a second home, and we even hang out outside of work sometimes as a group.
I would say I love my coworkers. They're great. The regulars are always entertaining because you create like these fun little habits with them of like how you greet them, how you work with them, how you address them.
Like special high fives?
No cool handshakes yet, but I've tried pitching it. I just mean, especially with businesses, you get to know like the owners and everything like that, and it almost feels like you're like a little celebrity when you go into their business. Like one restaurant downtown that I liked to go to over lunch over the summer while I was working, the owner would always be working the counter and he'd say hi. He was always super nice. I kind of just got to the point where I'd ask him what the specials were every time he came in to do his drop-off deposit. And just kind of created that fun little relationship with each one.
That is the best part of tellering. I will say that. Those relationships.
I'd like to talk more about what you do in the school. So you mentioned presentations and lunch and learns and everything. It's really interesting that you guys get to see both perspectives, working in branch, but then also being at school with your peers. So you kind of get like the behind the scenes intel on what young people are concerned about or what questions they have when it comes to money. Have you guys noticed like any patterns or trends with your demographic? Like what are those questions that they have about money? What are they wanting to know?
I would say probably my top two is car loans. A lot of sophomore or juniors wanting to get a car and just knowing how to get that car. Another one is a lot of my fellow seniors are worried to be a college student. It's hard and super expensive, so they're just kind of figuring out if they can have a job or ways to cut back on expenses.
The biggest financial concern I'm seeing is just how to make the most out of every penny, especially when it's so easy to create those habits of spending, how to break them, how to save. Like I know like we have one regular there's a student who likes to discuss recent savings plans that he's heard about and the benefits, and he's consistently asking me like, what do you think would work for me? And I'm like, dude, I'm only 2 years older than you. How would I know this? I'm not in a much better financial situation than you are. It's just hearing, they're surprisingly ready. Some are, not all, but like surprisingly ready to enter financial independence. But it's like skydiving. They're ready to jump, but they're not sure exactly how they'll meet the ground.
That's a good analogy.
It is. So what do you tell them when they have those questions? What resources do you help them with?
Well, I always like to ask, like bluntly, like, how are your parents doing? Do you see them succeeding? Like, do you feel like you would want to talk to them? Like, because people a lot of students don't like to look at their parents as like, they don't always want to be able to ask them, but sometimes it's a great idea. Not always, what are they doing well? Ask them what mistakes they've made. It's okay. People make mistakes in finances. Learn from them, their parents. If all goes well, it should be a pleasant conversation. But also, sit down and have fun with one of the calculator tools. It's so much fun to like pull it all the way to the side and just see what you can get. Also, look more realistically. Here's what my high school job looks like. Here's what the savings are. Play around with the tools that we have. We have a lot more than people realize. Like with Enrich and everything that we have available, it's really great for students, more than they realize.
I've referred a couple students to make an appointment or look at our website. I know one of my good friends was looking into getting a credit card, so I booked an appointment for her so she could get more information on it. Another thing is, for college, I wouldn't stress too much. It is what it is. You'll get through life eventually, so.
Yeah. Well, what I love is kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier. As part of the high school teller internship, you do so much more than tellering. You're actually being like a go-to resource for your peers. And that's not an opportunity that a lot of high schoolers tend to get with jobs or internships like this. Round of applause to you guys for being willing to do that with your peers. That's really great.
I know, Max, you said, oh my gosh, I'm not really the expert, right? Well, you are in a lot of ways, like Alexis just said. But what was each of your like baselines for financial knowledge before coming into this? I mean, you knew you were working at a financial institution, right? But like, did you know anything about savings accounts or tellering or anything before that?
I knew nothing, and it was actually my first day of training. I sat down and I was like, how am I going to do this? I was questioning myself, but after training, I kind of got a hang of it.
I knew the basics of like loans and savings and checkings. I didn't realize that there were like so many more options and how customizable it can be, like with CDs and interest-bearing checkings, money markets, HSAs. I'm still terrified to face that.
They're not that bad. Promise.
I've definitely learned a lot more, and the first step was learning it myself. The second step, though, was finding a way to be able to help other students learn it, because sometimes the entire concept of it can feel a little daunting. So it's creating like those metaphors and analogies to explain it a little bit better than the fancy terms of that there tend to be around it.
Yeah. The more you teach, the more you learn from the whole process too. Is there some of those lessons that you see over and over again that you're like, oh, students need to learn this?
A lot of people don't want to do it. And for not everybody, it's the right option. But if you're somebody who has a bad time following your checking account balance, tie it up to your savings as like a pull draw source. I had a student today who was -80 in his checking because he had multiple NSF fees, but you're losing out on so much money here. It's just better for you. It's not what you want. It's not ideal, but right now it might be what's best for you.
And so that means, having that draw source. So how does it help me to have my savings be a draw source for my checking? How does that help me?
Well, I mean, the savings can still bear interest when you're not touching it. You can still keep track of the checking account as a balance. But if something happens, you forget about a withdrawal, because a lot of students forget they have Spotify Premium set up or Apple stuff, that kind of thing. It happens. Even adults aren't great at keeping track of that stuff. And when you're a high schooler going off of just a few hours a week of work, the checking account's not overly full. So if you lose track of that one thing, going down $5, even if it only happens once every couple months, and so save yourself that $30 by just having a little bit come out of the savings. It's just a little bit easier in the long run.
And it'll do that automatically, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Another tip you could give your classmate is real-time alerts, because I'm sure most high schoolers have smartphones. So that is a really great mobile app feature where you can set customizable limits where it's like, okay, if my checking account gets below $50, I'm going to get an alert right to my phone. Kind of that real-time updates so that it can help students and anybody really gauge where their account balance is at.
I love getting my real-time alert text messages.
They're really helpful.
Like sometimes I get annoyed where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm the one that transferred $100 and I get the notification instantly. But it has been really helpful sometimes where something has pulled out. I'm like, oh, I thought that was not on this date, but then was able to move money around. So that's a good tip.
Sometimes it also reminds me how stupid some of my purchases are. So it's like a little reality check.
You're like, I don't need to be shamed.
Yeah. You're like, wait, I wanted to forget I spent on that. Yeah.
What are some of the most unique questions or like surprising questions that you guys have received from other students?
From students, you hear some interesting ones, but honestly, from everybody, you hear some unique questions. This wasn't my personal one, but I heard a story about a guy who wanted to get a loan that he didn't have to pay back. That wasn't my personal story. I've just heard that one, and it always makes me laugh whenever I think about it.
I want one of those too.
I know. Do we have those at Royal? That sounds fantastic.
Just contact Cooper for that one.
Ha 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 ha.
I think social security cards, a bunch of students like to keep them on them or in their wallets, which I found interesting because I didn't think a lot of people did do that. So
Not the best place for them.
No, not at all.
It's not an overly difficult number to memorize. It's 3 digits, 2 digits, 4 digits. So if you can memorize it, it's a great idea. But the occasional time that you'll need to pull it out. I mean, for students, filling out FAFSA, college applications, that kind of thing, you'll need it for. And opening up a bank account with Royal, if you're a new member, you'll need it if you don't have it memorized. But that's such like a once every so often scenario that if you have like some kind of lockbox at home or a safe place at home that you can put it, leave it there. It's a much better decision. It's just something so easy to lose or get destroyed in a wallet. I mean, it's just not something you want damaged.
What worries you guys most about finances in the future and becoming more of an adult?
Debt. I already know if I borrow $5 from a friend, I will forget about it in a week. Nonetheless, student loans, mortgage, that terrifies me.
That terrifies me too, if it helps. And I'm older than you.
I would say when I'm older, mortgages, debt, also providing for my family. I probably won't become a billionaire. So I really am worried about budgeting, and especially if my family grows, how am I supposed to financially take care of my kids?
Why does debt scare you? Why is that the one that both of you are like, debt? No.
It's something that looms over you, especially as I'm looking at student loans and that kind of thing. And it's finding a cosigner, realizing, how long am I honestly going to be in debt here? Is this a college degree I'm going to use? And then wondering, am I going to have to pay back all this money, worry about it, or something I'm not going to use? Car loan, as long as the car runs, I know I'm going to pay it back. As long as I'm living in the house, I know it's a good spend of money. It's college debt that scares me. Because what after all 4 years and thousands of dollars, I do something without the degree. And I wasted that time and money. That's the one that scares me the most.
When did that hit you? Like, have you been thinking about this since like middle school?
Second grade, probably. I mean,
Yeah.
No.
Are you like, I was not even thinking about money then?
A little 7-year-old me was just terrified of it. No, it was in the last couple of years, especially when they start asking the question, what do you want to do after high school? And I say, well, I want to do this. I want to go into music education. I want to be a high school music teacher. There's usually one of two responses that I get is, oh, that's great. We always need more teachers. Or, so what's the backup plan? Because it's arts programs get cut a lot. It happens. And it's when people start nagging you about a backup plan that you really wonder, do I need one? Am I going to lose my job for one reason or another? Am I going to waste a degree in such a niche field? I guess that's not finance enough related for this. I don't know.
No, that's
No,
perfect. That's
great.
Yeah.
I think your backup plan can be being a jazz star.
Very flimsy backup plan in my opinion, but I appreciate the
Well,
vote of confidence.
Well, you know that. So progress. Okay. What about you?
I actually did have the same thought. I was thinking to go into legal studies since I was maybe around 5th grade. And after registering for college and deciding where I was going to go, I don't think I like this. I really didn't want to commit and waste my money on a degree that I wasn't going to enjoy. And I'm going into special education now.
Yay. That's awesome.
Mhm.
I love that you figured that out. And, not everybody does figure out that, oh, maybe I don't want to do that until you're kind of way into it. And then you feel like you have to.
Yeah, but do you feel like you still can change, right? Even if you go into something.
Hey, I changed my major like 6 times in college. So
I also changed my major.
Yeah.
Like
A lot.
3, not 6, but
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, right? It's not so much about
Yeah.
what you're going for, but like finding your path along
Yeah.
the way.
And to the debt thing, like, is it awesome to be debt free? 100%. But on the other hand, like, debt is not the enemy as long as it's well managed debt.
yes.
And so I think it's super important to go into it with that mindset, like knowing that you're going to stay on top of your payments. You're not going to default. You're going to keep yourself, protect your credit score
Yep.
with great payment history and credit utilization ratios. So it's like, it's all about how you go into it. If you go into it knowing, okay, I need to do A, B, C, and maybe XYZ in order to stay on top of this and stay responsible, like, debt is not the enemy in a lot of cases.
No. And, I think both of you having such an awareness
Mhm.
of how you feel about it so far, use the calculators, right? Like, that's why we have them out there.
Yeah.
Figure out what's my payment going to be? How much do I feel comfortable paying, right? Like, just because you can get a $200,000 house loan, maybe you're only comfortable at like $100,000. That's totally cool, right? So, just being aware of it.
Right.
Do you guys have good examples of people who've managed debt well, and like you've seen how they have a mortgage or they have college loans, but they're still like succeeding and they've used that to their advantage?
At the branch, I do see some people, they have their amount monthly minimum amount that they like to pay just so they feel comfortable enough. So I think that's a good method, as long you don't have to pay a lot at once. Every little bit does count.
It's the mix of seeing the people who, it's a $355.47 payment. Great, I'll do $360. And that little bit extra that gets rolled over adds up. And it gives them that cushion for just a little bit. I've seen people who lost their job, but the way that they paid ahead, they were good for the next couple months. That's always been a good thing. It's interesting to see the people who are in the really tough situations in the branch, because it's almost like, how can I avoid what they did? Like, I don't want anybody to fail. In a perfect world, everybody walks away without having to file for bankruptcy, being able to stay up to date, not defaulting on anything, but people make mistakes, it happens. And one of the hidden gems of this job is you get to see that and you get to figure out, what can I avoid?
Have you guys taken lessons from your first day on to this day to make you more financially established or well off, and what were some of those big takeaways throughout the process you took?
Definitely. I opened a money market, and when I first started working here, I didn't even know what that was, but I found about the interest rate, and even my team members were giving me information about it. I got my first car loan through here.
The new Duo Save and Spend promotion we have going, I opened that up probably first week we had it. I mean, and I've pretty much peer pressured everybody I know into getting it. I'm somebody who uses their debit card for every little thing, and maybe it's a bad habit of mine, but it helps, at least setting aside, because in my head I'm thinking, well, I practically spend $5 on that. I pretty much spend $20 on that. Yep. All that rounding up just moves over for me, and it's a little bit nicer. But then also seeing end of year taxes and tax benefits is kind of helped me figure out how to approach filing that as a high schooler. It's been really nice because, people are consistently coming in looking for their interest forms and everything like that from us and asking us questions about I know CVTC does a tax event and everything like that, asking us about that. And it's almost like, here's that information. And then I lean over to my more seasoned coworker and I go, what is that? And how do I do that? How should I do that? And it's learning from the members a lot of the time too. I mean, if there are any students listening, you heard us say that neither of us are overly interested in going into finance in the future. But we obviously walked into this position not knowing nearly as much as we know now. If the position sounds interesting to you and you're going into your junior or going into your senior year, we've opened up applications for the 3 high schools. And they're starting to do interviews and that kind of thing. But I don't think it's too late. And I'm really sorry if it is. And I'm wrong. And it's not too late.
Well, I know that a couple of the career fairs are coming up for the high schools. So now it's not too late.
Yeah, somebody could be listening to this like 6 months from now.
Yeah. So maybe we say internships do open up for these positions each year. So always keep your eye out and apply for them if it intrigues you.
And I made it honestly kind of clear when I interviewed that it wasn't really my intention because I didn't want to waste anybody's time. If they wanted to go for people that would be future Mars or future financial managers or something for Royal, I didn't want to waste people's time. Lo and behold, they still hired me. Still regretting that decision on their part. But you learn so much more than you expect. And no matter what you choose to do, it will help you.
Yeah, I agree. Even if you're just a little bit interested, I've gained so much and learned so much in these past 2 years. I think you should just take a leap and at least sign up for an interview, see how it goes.
I think back to those skills that you shared with us kind of in the beginning, but knowing what your future careers are and those skills that you learned, they totally apply to what you plan on doing, at least in the current moment and apply to the future. So I think that was a really nice wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about apple fritters?
I don't even know what that is.
Thank goodness.
What?
What are they?
They're the staple of donuts. They're amazing. They're a wonderful mix between a savory fruit and a pastry.
Yep, that was the best explanation. Savory fruit and a pastry. That's what you really want to put in your mouth?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
No.
And it's covered in sweet glaze.
I do like the sweet glaze. If it could only be the sweet glaze.
Don't let him cut that out and delete that part. Because I think you just admitted that you like at least a part of an apple fritter.
I'm going to edit it so you're like, I hate apple fritters.
No, because I don't. God dang it. I did say I hate it here today. So,
I hate it. Apple fritters.
Can you like AI my actions like that too? It's like the robot.
AI could probably do a better edit than Steve could.
Probably.
I hated apple fritters. What? He didn't even cut it well.
I had to buy a lot of donuts this year, and I will say apple fritters are popular.
Yes. Okay, your only job now is to get an apple fritter and try it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you can put that on your resume too.
Yes.
I will.
Steve.
Cooper.
Alexis.
Hi.
I thought you were going to do it this time.
Where do we go? Where do the listeners go if they want more money donuts or to hear
If you're listening or you would like to watch us, you could go to rcu.org/podcast. Look at I hit the mic. I'm off today.
It's the second time you did it, actually.
Do you need me to take over?
Sure, maybe. Let me see. rcu.org/podcast. Money Donuts. Instagram is hot. We just
Ooh.
launched, hey, you might not even know this, a Facebook page for Money Donuts.
No, I did. It popped up as a recommendation.
Yeah. Have you followed us?
Yes.
Have you guys followed us? Do you guys even have Facebook? No.
I do have Facebook.
I only use Facebook for Facebook Marketplace.
How about Instagram?
It's valid.
Are you guys following Money
Follow us
Donuts?
on Instagram. Because you're going to be on it.
This is how we get
And so-
followers. Everybody who comes in, we
Ooh.
make them
Yeah, we
subscribe
do.
to
But
you.
listen.
Very slow increase.
Listen, once the reels and stuff from this episode get posted, you have to share it on the high school Instagram pages. Yeah, well, I know your boss and yours. So, but that's what we're going to do.
We could just like have a rumor like, oh, that was crazy when Jack Black stopped by the earlier episode to talk about Minecraft movie on Money Donuts. Yeah, just make sure you go to that part. And
Chicken Man. What
we
is
are
it?
Chicken Man.
What's it supposed to be?
Chicken jockey.
Chicken jockey.
Chicken Man.
I know for a fact that the entire jazz band's going to listen to this now.
Oh, those poor souls. Hey, there is a reason we are an award-winning podcast. It's the chaos.
It's very up to date on the hip terms and lingo, yeah.
It reminds me of a joke I came up with. Why did the chicken cross the road?
You didn't.
Because.
No, he didn't. I shared it.
Yeah,
on
he's
a
cap.
prior episode.
No cap.
You did actually use that correctly. I will give you that.
Yes. Just follow us, listen to the episode, watch the episode.
Like us, subscribe, tell all your friends.
And write us reviews if you're at this
Only
point and
if
you're
they're
still
nice.
listening
Only
to
if
it.
they're nice. Or if
Why would
you,
they not? Why would you write something not nice?
I don't know.
Just
But-
write
or-
something nice.
This is posted on the internet, right?
Yeah.
And then you should have some experience. You know.
Write something nice.
First
or
experience with the internet.
Write what you want to hear on future episodes.
Yeah. What's your favorite episode? And then that lets listeners go back to that episode. Like, what was your favorite episode? And then list it in there. And then you can be like, oh, this is a good place to start.
And one final plug, if you are listening and you are in high school, go to rcu.org/highschoolteller to see if we have openings right now.
Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Good luck in the future. This is the last time we'll ever talk
Yes.
again.
Thanks for joining.
Stop it. Okay, now stay put.